U Executive Transport, a transportation company ready to change the transportation narrative in Taraba State and Nigeria at large, bringing comfort, safety and reliability. Witness their impact on the people, the economy and Nigeria's transportation future.
Ari Executive Transport Company who was actually incorporated sometime in 2024, and the decision to establish the company was actually
Welcome to the broadcast of News at 9 p.m. on Tom TV, the pulse of the nation. You can also follow us on Facebook at Tom TV and on YouTube at Tom TV Live. Now the major headlines. On the national news, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, launches the Free to Shine campaign in Jalingo, Taraba State, aiming to eliminate HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis, focusing on young people and women of reproductive age. First Lady urges traditional leaders in Taraba to advocate against hepatitis and HIV and AIDS, emphasizing cultural institutions' role in public health. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and ex-governor visit former President Muhammadu Buhari in Kaduna for a post-Salah visit that has sparked speculations on political alignment ahead of 2027 election. In international news, Niger Republic adopted Hausa as national language, officially replaced French amid military government changes. In business news, Vice President Shatima launches special agro-industrial processing zone project in Cross River, aiming for economic growth and job creation. In entertainment news, Idris Abdul Karim responds to NBC ban on his song Tell Your Papa, critiques government against free speech. In sport news, Nigeria Olympic Committee to hold sport administration costs in Jigawa, aim at enhancing governance and support for athletes. My name is Bridget James, and now the news in full. On April 11, 2025, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, launched the Free to Shine campaign in Jalingo, Taraba State, targeting the elimination of HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis with a strong emphasis on young people and women of reproductive age. Some TV correspondents complete the report.
Senator Oluremi Bola Ahmed Tinubu has officially launched the distribution of professional midwifery kits, including crocs and scrubs, to healthcare workers in the north.
On April 11, 2025, Nigeria's First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu officially launched the Free to Share campaign for the elimination of HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis in Jalingo, Taraba State. At the flag-off ceremony held at the Jolly Nyame Stadium, Senator Tinubu emphasized the campaign's inclusive approach, particularly targeting the youth and women of reproductive age. She stressed the urgent need to tackle this disease nationwide to safeguard future generations.
The Free to Shine campaign is an advocacy initiative led by the African Union, the Organization of the African First Ladies for Development, OAFLAD, and global partners. The goal of this campaign is to address the growing complacency in the response to the spread of HIV/AIDS in Africa. Nigeria being the country with the highest burden of HIV/AIDS in sub-Saharan Africa due to its large population, faces significant challenges. You heard today that Botswana is free. Botswana only has a population of 2 point something million. But Nigeria, we have a lot of people affected because of the size of our population. And if we don't quickly address it, we will just have a lot of young people either dying early or just very weak for the legacy that is going to be bequeathed to you. So we want you to listen, very much.
Taraba State Governor Agbu Kefas also addressed the gathering, describing the initiative as a critical step forward for public health in the state. He gave assurance of effective implementation of federal health programs and, in a symbolic gesture, pledged appointment as special advisor to individuals who shared testimonies during the launch under the office of the First Lady, Akin Kefas.
Your support, First Lady of Nigeria, please inform Mr. President also that all the federal funds and interventions received in Taraba State are being properly and transparently utilized for the benefit of our citizens, and we can fully justify the impact. We therefore respectfully request that more resources be extended to Taraba, as we are prepared, committed, and accountable in translating every intervention into real progress. Your Excellency, we thank you for your presence, your mission, and the renewed hope you bring. Taraba stands with you always. Now, for the two ladies that spoke out, and now they are free to shine, the government of Taraba State will be appointing you special advisors in this field. And you'll be attached to the office of the First Lady of the state. So after here, arrange to go there and get your appointment letter so that you can help to speak out.
The ceremony also included captivating drama presentation by NYC CUP members and moving testimonies from people living with HIV and AIDS, highlighting the human impact and urgency behind the campaign. Lillian Yakubu reporting for Some TV.
Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has urged traditional leaders in Taraba State to play a frontline role in the fight against hepatitis and HIV and AIDS, emphasizing the vital role of cultural institutions in promoting public health and strengthening the nation's healthcare system. Some TV correspondent has the details.
Senator Oluremi Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on traditional leaders in Taraba State to partner with her in combating hepatitis and HIV/AIDS. This appeal was made during a meeting with the Taraba State Traditional Council, marking the beginning of her two-day walking visit to the state. The First Lady emphasized the need for collaboration with traditional institutions to eradicate diseases like hepatitis, HIV, and AIDS, ultimately strengthening the Nigeria's health sector. On his part, the chairman of the Taraba State Council of Chiefs and Emirs, His Royal Majesty, Dr. Ishaku Ada Ali, expressed delight over the visit and prayed for its success in uplifting the state.
So we're here to do that and also to raise the awareness for HIV/AIDS and hepatitis B and also syphilis, because we see that most people are not talking, so that we can bring awareness to it, and we need the traditional rulers, especially because we know that you are the custodian of the land, the people they directly relate to you, and we need you to help us to send the message down that there is free treatment for HIV/AIDS and also for tuberculosis.
You are coming here, you come with a purpose. And that purpose, we believe, is the purpose that is going to uplift Taraba State. On behalf of the Royal Fathers and the good people of Taraba State, Your Excellencies, you are all welcome. And it's a sincere prayer. You are saying Taraba State will usher peace, will bring progress, will bring unity.
In a related development, Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, in pursuance of the distributions of 60,000 professionals midwifery kits across the country, launched the Northeast Phase in Taraba State. The initiative is part of ongoing effort to strengthen frontline healthcare delivery and empower women economically. Some TV correspondent completes the report.
Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has officially launched the distribution of professional midwifery kits, including crocs and scrubs, to healthcare workers in the Northeast region. In her address, Senator Tinubu said the initiative aligns with the federal government's broader commitment to strengthening frontline healthcare delivery through the training and equipping of medical professionals. She revealed that the 60,000 kits have been procured, with each of Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones receiving 10,000. Taraba State was selected to host the Northeast launch. In a show of economic empowerment, the First Lady also announced a donation of 50 million naira to support 1,000 women traders in Taraba State, with each expected to receive 50,000 naira. Taraba State Governor Dr. Abu Kifas expressed appreciation for the First Lady's gesture, noting that it aligns with his administration's 5-finger agenda, which includes healthcare development. His wife, Mrs. Agin Abu Kifas, lauded the donation as a landmark step towards improved maternal health care in the state. Other dignitaries at the event included the Minister of Health, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, Executive Director of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Moyi Aina, also lauded the initiative of the First Lady. They all echoed the importance of the First Lady's intervention in transforming Nigeria's healthcare landscape.
This event is to complement the ongoing federal government retraining exercise of 20,000 frontline health workers nationwide. I'm informed that 60,470 health workers have already completed their training, and that is why the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, procured 60,000 branded scrubs and 60,000 pairs of crocs as an incentive to encourage and support the tireless dedication of our midwives.
Taraba is honored to be chosen for this vital intervention, one that targets the elimination of HIV/AIDS, syphilis, hepatitis among women of reproductive age and children. This initiative goes straight to the heart of what matters: protecting life, restoring dignity, and giving new hopes to families.
Excellency, I would also like to take this opportunity to highlight the significant impact of your Renew Hope initiative, which has greatly benefited our vulnerable populations. These initiatives have been instrumental in enhancing the livelihoods of citizens, and I take pride in supporting it through my office.
Excellency President Tinubu puts health and the well-being of Nigerians among the key elements of his Renewed Hope agenda, and your initiative is directly in line with that. And the movement that we have activated under his leadership and with your support and with the Renewed Hope Initiative leadership is moving forward, because all over our country now, as we have heard, millions of women are accessing basic services. Children are being immunized.
Moving to Kaduna State now, report has it that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, alongside ex-Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto and Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna, visited former President Muhammadu Buhari in Kaduna on April 11, 2025. While details of the visit remain undisclosed, Atiku described it as a post-Salah visit on his social media, sharing that Buhari's almost left him in stitches. This visit follows a similar homage paid by APC governors last week, foiling speculations of political alignments. We'll be going on a commercial break. Please don't go away. We'll be right back with more exciting updates. Welcome back. Moving on to Niger State. The Niger State Electricity Regulatory Commission has drawn investment interests from Chinese firm Hunan Hengjin Group, marking a positive step towards improving electricity supply in the state. During a meeting with the investors, Commission Chairman Engineer Mohammed Sharu affirms readiness to issue license, stressing the state's electricity challenges despite hosting 4 hydro dams. Commissioner Dr. Amir Shakur and Engineer MS Bello urged explorations of Niger's vast renewable energy resources. Technical Assistant Mahmoud Kenny Dadamo revealed the state received just 63 megawatts of its 450 megawatt installed capacity. Hunan Haiking's Han Vincent pledged investments through the public-private partnership and requested support in identifying power off-takers. Talks were facilitated by local partners, Brains and Hammers, with further discussions planned. Governor Chukwuma Charles Soludo has signed 6 new laws, including the Anambra State Herbal Practice Law 2024 and the Indigenous Traditional Medicine Practices Law 2025 to promote development and improve governance. The singing ceremony at the Governor's Lodge, Awambia, was attended by top state officials, including House Speaker Right Honorable Somtochukwu Udeze. Others enacted laws include those on development investments, electricity, homeland security, and mission school health care. The new legislations aim to boost economic growth and upgrade energy and healthcare system, and integrate traditional medicine into public health. Governor Soludo commended the legislature for its partnership and expressed confidence in the law's impact on citizens' welfare. The Kebbi state government has reiterated its commitment to security following the swift rescue of Augustine Madubia, a 400-level student of the Federal University, Birnin Kebbi, adopted earlier in the week. Commissioner for Information and Culture Alhaji Yakubu Ahmed, BK, credited the 48-hour rescue to coordinated effort by security forces and vigilantes under Governor Nasir Idris' directive. He emphasized the administration's zero tolerance to crime and its prioritizations of security as a pillar of development. The government highlighted improvements in southern Kebbi security, enabling displaced farmers to return and achieve a pumber harvest. Ongoing efforts are also being made to combat threats from bandit group. Citizens were encouraged to support security operations with intelligence as Governor Idris remains focused on sustaining peace and progress across the state. Inspector General of Police Kayode Agbetukun has ordered the immediate deployment of tactical police units to violence-hit communities in Plateau State, following the March 28 attack in Bokos local government area that left over 50 people dead. According to Force PRO Olumuyiwa Adejobi, Deputy Inspector General of Operations Kwazi Yakubu is leading the interventions, which include special squads, helicopters, and armed vehicles aimed at restoring peace and bringing perpetrators to justice. Upon arriving in Plateau on April 8, DIG Yakubu met with Governor Caleb Mofwang to convey the IGP's condolences and discuss lasting security solutions. The police emphasized collaborations with the state governments and local stakeholders, urging residents to provide intelligence support. Rivers State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas is facing criticism for appointing local government administrators and reconstituting 3 state commissions without legislative approval. Legal experts, including Barrister Chizi Enyi, argue that the actions are unconstitutional as they bypass the suspended State Assembly and disregard due process through the National Assembly. Enyi accused Ibas of escalating political tension instead of fostering peace and directed by President Tinubu, and alleged the appointment favors allies of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, worsening the rift with Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Meanwhile, Ibas has refuted viral social media reports alleging plans to recruit 10,000 civil servants, clarifying through the acting head of civil service, Mrs. Inyingi S.I. Brown, that no such exercise has been approved, and the public should await official communication from the Civil Service Commission. The Ekiti State government has engaged Muslim leaders under the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs to ease tension following the demolitions of a mosque in Aromoko, Ekiti West local government. Deputy Governor Monisa De Afuye stated that the Alara in council had allocated an alternative plot for the mosque and reaffirmed the administration's commitment to religious harmony. The mosque was reportedly demolished to make way for a market project. Spearheaded by Senate leader Opeyemi Bamidele, Afuye assured the Muslim community of justice and emphasized peaceful resolutions. SCIA President Dr. Hamid Bakare and the Chief Imam of Aromoko Ekiti, Alhaji Abdul Rahim Babangida, urged patience and called for the mosque to be rebuilt at an acceptable location to preserve religious peace. Presidents of anchor local government in Zamfara State have praised President Bola Tinubu's Defense Minister Dr. Bello Matawale and Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa for his successful military operations that eliminated notorious terrorist leader Mati and his fighters. The operations, part of Operation Munzo, led to the recovery of weapons, communication gear, and rustle cattle. Dr. Matawale commended the troops' bravery and reaffirms the government's commitment to ending terrorism and restoring peace in the region. The Lagos state government has shut down 13 markets in the Mile 12 and K2 areas over persistent illegal waste disposal. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tukumbo Wahab, announced the enforcement, stating it was in line with the state environmental protection laws. The affected markets, including Erukan, Oja Oba, Owosedi Tundas, Oba Ogunjobi, and several plazas and terminals, were sealed for dumping waste on roads and public spaces. Wahab emphasized the need for market operators to take responsibility for proper waste management, saying the move aims to safeguard public health and restore order in congested urban areas. 12 Biafran agitators detained since May 24, 2021 were released in Ebonyi State after the prosecutions voluntarily withdrew charges of treasonable felony against them. The discharge followed repeated court ruling acquitting them for lack of evidence. The Director of Public Prosecutions acknowledged the judicial decision leading to the case dismissal. Lead counsel to the indigenous people of Biafra, Sir Ifeanyi Ejiofor, held the release as a long overdue affirmation of the rule of law and vowed to continue effort to rescue the freedom of other detainees who have similarly been acquitted by multiple courts. Youth from Okpanam in Delta State on Thursday staged a protest on the Delta State government's house in Asaba, decrying prolonged power outage and rising insecurity in their community. The protesters, who marched through major roads, accused the Benin Electricity Distribution Company of deliberately plugging their area into darkness and issuing inflated estimated bills. They urged that the blackout has fueled criminal activities, including kidnapping and violence, due to lack of lighting and security infrastructure. In a letter presented to Governor Sharif Oborewori, the youth demanded urgent government interventions. Responding, the governor's chief of staff, Johnson Erijo, assured them that a legislative framework to address power challenges was nearing completion. The Legal Aid Council in Bayelsa State has secured the release of 3 indigent defendants after their charges were struck out by a magistrate court due to a lack of diligent prosecutions. Coordinator of the council, Mr. Adi Inenovo, announced the development in Yenagoa, reaffirming the council's commitment to offering free legal representations to those unable to afford it. All 3 cases were handled before Magistrate C. Alago in Kaima and dismissed on April 4. Inenegbo cited the prosecution's failure to pursue the matters as reasons for the acquiescence, adding that the ruling aligns with ongoing efforts to decongest correctional facilities. Speaker of the National State House of Assembly, Danladi Jatau, has urged members of the Preliminary Staff Associations of Nigeria, Nasarawa State Chapter, to suspend their planned strike over the non-payment of the 70,000 naira minimum wage. The strike, scheduled to commence on April 16th, was announced following a passing Congress held at a State Assembly complex in Lafia on April 10th. In a statement issued by his press secretary, Jibrint Gwabna, Jatau appealed for patience, assuring that Governor Abdullahi Sule is a responsive leader and that the issue would be resolved promptly. Representing Kokona West constituency, Jatau emphasized the constitutional nature of the minimum wage and reaffirmed the Assembly's commitment to the welfare and rights of its staff. The federal government has clarified its positions on the security situations in Borno State after Senator Kaka Shehu Lawan criticized Information Minister Mohammed Idris for allegedly downplaying renewed Boko Haram attack. Lawal defended Governor Zulum's warning and urged the minister to visit Borno. In response, the government denied dismissing Zulum's concerns, stating that the minister's comments were misrepresented. The government reaffirmed its commitment to combating terrorism and called for responsible media reporting. The Sokoto state government has launched a campaign to combat a meningitis outbreak that has affected over 300 people at a sensitization event held in Aluyagobe Hall. Health Commissioner Dr. Faruku Abubakar Wurno confirmed that only 16 patients remain hospitalized, with the majority treated and discharged. The campaign, organized by a World Development Committee Forum in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Primary Healthcare Development Agency, emphasized the importance of early detections. Health experts urge residents to seek medical attention immediately upon experiencing symptoms such as fever, vomiting, or neck stiffness. Traditional leaders and stakeholders, including a representative of the Sultan of Sokoto, commended the state proactive response. The initiative received backing from UNICEF, Medicine Sans Frontiers and CESA University of Medical Sciences and Technology, reaffirming Sokoto's commitment to public health awareness and disease prevention. The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of Kwara State University, Professor Abdul Ganiyu Amboli, has commended Professor Yusuf Olaolu Ali San for his philanthropic impact on the society. The commendation came during a courtesy visit by Kwansu's leadership to Chalib Chambers in Ilorin ahead of Professor Ali's turbaning as the Kuliyan Geri of Ilorin. Ambali described the traditional title conferred by the Emir of Ilorin, Dr. Ibrahim Sulu Gabari, as a well-deserved recognition of Professor Ali's contribution to justice, education, and humanitarian causes. He noted that Kwasu was proud to associate with Professor Ali, given his significant support for the institutions and the broader community in response. Professor Ali expressed gratitude for the visit and pledged continued support for the university's drive towards excellence. The turbaning ceremony is scheduled to take place at the Emir's Palace on Friday, April 11, 2025. Stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress in Abia have reaffirmed their commitment to winning the state for President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 elections, with plans to dislodge the Labour Party government led by Governor Alex Otti. The declaration came after a meeting convened by former Governor Oji Uzo Kalu at his Abuja residence on April 11, 2025. Key APC figures including National Welfare Secretary Donatus Kwampwa and Minister of State for Labor and Employment Nkiruka Onyejoka attended the meeting. Kalu expressed confidence in the party's unity in Abia, noting that APC members in the state are now more united than ever. In line with the directive from President Tinubu, he emphasized the state potential's benefits from aligning with the federal government, which has already made substantial contributions to Abia development. He also calls on opposition parties to join forces with APC stakeholders to ensure the state's future success. Troops of Operation Fasang Yama have successfully eliminated 5 notorious bandits, including the feared bandit leader known as Malam, in a military strike along the Kandamba Faskari Road in Katsina State. The operations, which lasted a week, was the result of thorough intelligence gathering and culminating in a violent clash with the bandit as the bandit attempted to flee. They buried 5 of their dead comrades before retreating into the bush. However, the determined troops continued their pursuit, eventually uncovering the bodies of the slain bandits in a shallow grave with Malam among the dead. Malam had long been a menace in the region, responsible for numerous kidnapping, cattle rustling, and violent attacks across the Sabua, Dandumi, Futua, and Faskari local government areas. The military operations continue as troops sweep the area in search of remaining members of the gang. This victory marks a significant blow to banditry in the region and offers hope for peace to the affected communities. A group of constituents from Kogi Central Senatorial District has filed a lawsuit at the Federal High Court in Abuja, challenging the 6-month suspensions of their representative, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, by the Senate, represented by human rights lawyer Femi Falala. The plaintiffs argue that the suspension prompted by her petitions alleging an assassination plot by Senate President Godswill Akpabio violates their constitutional right to political representations. They are seeking a court declaration that the Senate acted beyond its power and demanding the restoring of Akpoti Odohan's rights and privilege. Entitled in a related development, Akpoti Odohan has responded to a separate petition filed by Akpabio with the Inspector General of Police and the Attorney General of the Federation. Akpabio accused the senator of defamations and incitements, calling her allegations heinous lies aimed at inciting unrest and damaging his reputation. Reacting through her lawyers, Victor Giwa, Akpoti Odohan insisted her remarks were a desperate cry for help, not political grandstanding, and condemned the withdrawal of her security details. Following her suspension, meanwhile, a socio-political group, the Movement for National Accommodations and Consensus for Continuity, has begun a nationwide sensitization tour in support of Akpabio. The group described the allegations against the Senate President as politically motivated and aimed at destabilizing the Senate, urging Nigerians to remain united and reject misinformation. A group of legal practitioners under the banner of Lawyers for Civil Liberty has called on the National Judicial Council to compel Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State to reverse the appointment of Justice Theophilus Nziku as acting Chief Judge of the state. Speaking in Abuja on Friday, the group, led by Victor Opatola, condemned the appointment of the fourth most senior judge in Imo State High Court, describing it as unconstitutional and a threat to judicial independence and the principle of seniority. They expressed concern that this was not the first time Governor Uzodinma had bypassed more seniors. Recalling a similar incident in 2021, the NJC, in a statement on April 4th, had already distanced itself from the governor's decision, noting it had not yet considered his request. The Edo State House of Assembly has approved Governor Monday Okpeyolo's request to hire Terrace White Consult Limited for the recovery of state funds, particularly those owned under the project Gazilla Afrinzim loan and other crude oil loan agreements. The Assembly also authorized a 10% professional fee at the deductions of sorts for the consulting firm. Speaker Right Honorable Blessings Agbebaku emphasized that the fund recovered would greatly support the state's socio-economic development. The proposal was unanimously approved following a voice vote. Additionally, the People's Democratic Party nominated Honorable Charity Agweborukian as the new minority leader and Yekini Idaye as minority whip. The Adamawa state government has reaffirmed its commitment to promoting safe motherhood through collaborations with development partners. Speaking on behalf of the Commissioner for Health and Human Capital at the press briefing in Yola to mark National Safe Motherhood Day, Permanent Secretary Zira Babunani highlighted the state's progress towards universal health coverage and sustainable development goal. He emphasized the importance of maternal and child health, noting that every life is valuable. Babunani commended the efforts of the Challenge Initiative and the Adamawa Family Planning Media Advocacy Group for raising awareness on safe motherhood through family planning and child spacing. He also acknowledged Governor Umar Fintiri's support in creating an enabling environment for healthcare initiative and praised the dedications of health workers, midwives, doctors, community health personnel, and traditional leaders across the state. The Executive Director of Marine and Operations at the Nigerian Port Authority, Olalekan Badmus, has applauded President Bola Tinubu for appointing Osun APC Chairman Tajuddin Lawal as the governing board chairman of the Federal College of Agriculture, Ibadan. In a personally signed statement, Badmus congratulated Lawal on the appointment, expressing confidence in his capacity to deliver on the new national assignment. He also commended the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Alhaji Adegboye Oyetola, for the role in supporting party members for national rules. Badmus described the appointment as well-deserved and reflective of Lawal's competence, assuring that he would advance the institutions in line with the renewed hope for agenda. The ECOWAS Community Court of Justice has declared that Kano State blasphemy law violates international human rights standards. In a suit filed by the Incorporated Trustees of Expression's Non-Human Rights Initiative against Nigeria, the court ruled that Section 2010 of the Kano State Penal Code and 382B of the Sharia Penal Code are incompatible with the Nigerian obligations under the African Charter on Human and People's Rights and the International Conventions on Civil and Political Rights. The court found the law void and disappropriate, especially the provision prescribing the death penalty for insulting the Prophet Muhammad. While the panel acknowledged the state's interest in maintaining public order, it held that Kano's law failed to strike a balance with the right to freedom of expression. Though the court dismissed claims of state complicity in mob violence due to insufficient evidence, it ordered the Nigerian government to repeal or amend the offending provisions to align with international legal standards. We are taking a brief commercial break. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back with more exciting updates on Sound TV.
Keep watching Sound TV.
Born out of a burden for travelers to Jalingo, especially from Abuja. And I saw that need and tried to reach out to existing transport companies to fill the gap, but they were not forthcoming. And so I decided to go into it myself. That is the main essence of this company, to connect Taraba State to other parts of the country, especially Abuja and Yola, comfortably for executive travelers.
We offer executive services to both individuals and group of people. The kind of services we render depends on the needs in which our customers wishes for us to offer. Either wedding, conferences, ambulance services or car hire services, we ensure that we give you the very best of service.
We offer shuttle services. We started with Jalingo Yola. And right now as I'm talking to you, we are already looking out for a terminal in Abuja, because Abuja route is actually the ultimate. That was the motivation behind the establishment of the company, so that travels between Abuja and Jalingo can be done comfortably. So we are trusting God that by April, before the end of April, we will start the Abuja route. we are already looking out for a terminal. And so that is the basic thing. And we go into car hire services too. You can hire our Sienna buses, you can hire our Hummer buses, you can also hire our ambulance.
Welcome back. Coming up next, the international business and sport news. On the international news, the military government in Niger Republic has officially adopted Hausa as the country's national language, replacing French. This change was outlined in a new national chapter published on March 31st, which also recognized English and French as working languages. Hausa is already widely spoken across Niger, particularly in the regions of Zinda, Maradi, and Taushwa, and it's understood by the majority of the nation's 26 million people. In contrast, only about 13% of the population speak French. The new chapter also lists 9 other indigenous languages, including Zamra, Songa, Fula, Kanuri, Comanche, and Arabic as recognized spoken languages in the country. This linguistic shift follows a national meeting held in February, during which the junta leaders, General Adohame Tiani, was endorsed to remain in power for another 5 years. Since seizing power in the July 2023 coup, the military regime has moved to sever long-standing ties with France, expelling French troops, cutting diplomatic relations, and renaming French named streets and public buildings. Niger's decision minus similar moves by other former French colonies, which military governments such as Mali and Burkina Faso, which have also exceeded the organization's International de la Francophonie. On business news, Vice President Kashim Shettima has launched a special agro-industrial processing zone in Cross River State, marking a major steps in Nigeria's agricultural transformation. The event held in Calabar was attended by Governor Basi Otu, AFDB President Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, and other dignitaries. Shettima described the initiative as crucial to economic growth, food security, and job creations under President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Governor Otu emphasized its alignment with his prosperity-focused administrations, highlighting the SAB's potential to empower agricultural communities and diversifying the economy. The agro-industrial hub spans 130 hectares and is strategically supported by key infrastructure, including power plants, seaports, and proposed rail links. Dr. Adesina pressed the initiative potentials to transform rural economies, reduce food imports, and attract investments, noting that Nigeria is among the 8 states in the SAB's first phase, with a second phase expected to draw $2.2 billion in investments. In a related development, the Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has urged indigents residing in Abuja to return home and seize the growing opportunities in the state agricultural sector. Speaking during a visit by Jigawa economic migrants to his residence in Asokoro, Namadi highlighted the progress made under his administration in job creations and agricultural development. Referencing data from the National Bureau of Statistics, he acknowledged the state's high unemployment rate, 23.1% in 2023, but stressed that recent initiatives have created viable alternatives within Jigawa. This includes mechanized farming and irrigation projects aimed at boosting food productions and agro-industrial capacity. Namadi emphasized that Jigawa now offers better prospects for income generations and business stability than urban centers like Abuja. On entertainment news, sources indicate that Idris Abdul Karim, former member of the Remedies Band, has responded to the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission the decision to ban his new song, Tell Your Papa. The song, which has gained significant attention online, takes aim at President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his son, Sheyi, highlighting the economic struggle faced by Nigerians. In the lyrics, Idris accused the president of failing to fulfill his promises and asserts that the nation's living conditions are at an all-time low. He also criticized Sheyi for being out of touch with the reality of ordinary Nigerians, citing his use of private jets. The NBC, citing Section 318 of the Nigerian Broadcasting Code, issued a memo on Thursday instructing broadcast stations to refrain from airing the track, labeling it unsuitable for responsible broadcasting. In response, Idris condemned the government's actions, urging that truth and constructive criticism are being punished. He compared this ban to the previous prohibitions of his song Jaga Jaga during the Obasanjo administration, expressing frustration with the government's perceived indifference to the plight of ordinary citizens. On sport news, report reaching us has it that the Nigerian Olympic Committee, in collaboration with the Jigawa State Sports Council, is set to organize a sports administration course from April 23 to 25, 2025 at the Manpower Development Institute in Duse. But participants are expected to arrive on April 22nd and depart on April 26th. The training reportedly open to elected officials, national federation staffs, club managers, physical education teachers, sports journalists, and other key stakeholders. It's designed using a framework provided by Olympic Solidarity, the education arm of the International Olympic Committee. Further reports indicate that the course seeks to enhance knowledge of the Olympic movement, promote the principle of food governance, and improve the organizational management of sport bodies to better support athletes. That's all for this edition of News at 9 p.m. from Psalm TV. Before we go, here is a recap of the major headlines. In today's national news, the Nigerian First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, launched the Free to Shine campaign in Jalingo, Taraba State, targeting the eliminations of HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis, with a specific focus on young people and women of reproductive age. During her visit, she urged traditional leaders in the state to play an active role in advocating against these diseases, highlighting the importance of cultural institutions in promoting public health. We also brought you a report that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, along with ex-governors, visited former President Muhammadu Buhari in Kaduna for a post-Salah visit, which has sparked speculations regarding potential political alignments ahead of the 2027 elections. On the international front, report has it that Niger Republic has officially adopted Hausa as its national language, replacing French amid changes under its military government. In business news, Vice President Kashim Shettima launched the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone project in Cross River with the goal of driving economic growth and creating jobs. In entertainment news, Idris Abdul Karim has responded to the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission's ban on his song, Tell Your Papa. criticizing the government's actions against free speech. Lastly, in sports, the Nigerian Olympic Committee has announced it will host a sport administration course in Jigawa aimed at enhancing governance and support for athletes. Stay tuned for more lined up of programs from Som TV. You can also follow us on Facebook at Som TV and on YouTube at Som TV Live. I remain Bridget James. Thank you for watching and good night.